work session, I actually started the instruction with the RACE method, which my students are very familiar with. But we spell out RACE, and it's just an acronym that stands for restate the question, answer the question, cite textual evidence, and edit and conclude your sentence. It's a great way to start a brief constructed response. It helps the students actually order and sequence the way that their writing needs to go. It allows them great chance to put transition words in there, and it really starts with a positive way for having students to build that foundation of knowledge for the brief constructed response. So I taught the lesson. The students are really excited about it. And then we moved towards them actually writing and putting something down on paper. But we went over the step-by-step in our work session first.
All right, so at the beginning is R, and we've talked about it just a little bit, but R stands for? Restate the question. Now, we did this in the What About Herschel Walker. There's some important keywords in this sentence right here that help us. We need to eliminate them to restate the question. What are they? How does. So we could start our sentence.
Knowing about Herschel Walker's past helps us.
Would we say us, or what would we say right here? We would change this. Helps me understand his accomplishments. And then what would come next? Is that a complete sentence? Well, we would just keep on with the sentence and we would finish it out. So when we restate the question, it is so important to make sure we use those key words that make our question. Yes, ma'am.
Why do we use you instead of us?
Okay, so Tamaya asked, why don't we use you, or you don't say we? What would you say instead? Me, because this is about you when you're writing this sentence. Herschel Walker's past helps me understand, because you're the one reading the passage and you're the one that's writing the response. Helps me understand his accomplishments because, and then what do I normally say after that? Blah, 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 blah. Whatever you're going to put after that. And it's important to probably state the main idea in that sentence. The central idea of the passage. Where do you usually find the main idea in a passage? Go, guys. I'm so proud. All right, so after our R, we're going to move to the A. And what does A stand for? We're going to answer the question. And the question is, how does knowing about Herschel Walker's past help us understand his accomplishments? So within the text, you're going to have to go back and you're going to look. And Miss Morris likes it when you start your sentence how? Do you have to write it only that way? No, but at the beginning of the year, that was a great way for us to get started, a great way for us to begin our writing, and it makes us sound instantly smarter when you say according to the passage. After that, should we say it says? No, we shouldn't use the word it. Why not?
We don't know what it is.
We don't know what it is. It is unclear. It's ambiguous. We don't understand what it means. So it's important for us to say maybe the author stated, and then you can finish it out. But it has to come directly from the text. Should you copy the text word for word? No, if you do that, what's going to happen? You're going to go to jail. I'm the police, and I'm going to get you. So you can't do that. It's plagiarism. But you do need to put in your own words. We've worked on that, maybe just summarizing a little bit, but make sure it comes from the text. Your third sentence is going to do what? You're going to cite text evidence. We're on C, R, A, C. And finally is our last section for the RACE method. So we've been through R, we went through A, we went through C, and now we are on E. And E stands for? Edit and conclude. It is so important to edit your answer. Jacob, when you edit, what are you going to do? We're going to conclude after that, but we edit, we're going to go back and make sure what? That we've done everything right. We're going to make sure our conventions are right, our spelling, all of our punctuation marks, our capital letters. Make sure that you do what at the beginning? Restate. But what are we going to do with our words? We're going to move them over a little bit. What do you call that? You're going to indent. Good. So make sure you've done all those things before you can conclude, and then you're going to go back and check it even one more time.
The students were grouped for this lesson based on a 4-question formative assessment that I gave last week, and it had differentiated passages that they were supposed to read, and they started with the easiest passage, and it grew to the more difficult passage where they just had a basic question on the central idea of the passage, and the students that scored the highest received a close read that had a higher lexile level, and then the students that scored the lowest had a passage that had the lower lexile level.